All right. Oh, good. I mean, what in the first 4 days of training camp brought for you so far?
Um, I love the vibe, I like not only our practice vibe, but we do sessions at night and kind of the team building stuff. I enjoy that. Um, so just a good vibe. I mean, it helps a lot when you have a team that's been together. We know each other. And then I love what our the new guys are, and Lonzo and Larry and Thomas have been really a great energy boost.
What's the process like of integrating you guys? Because last year that was you, and the roster was essentially the same from the year before.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, well, luckily we signed three smart guys that picked everything up like easy. So and they're vets, right? They're vets. It's not like you're integrating a young player. So that's been really good. I've been impressed with our young guys. CP looks really good. Jalen looks good. And then Tyrese today, and he looks like he belongs, which is usually this early, young guy like that, rookie, you feel out of place, but he looks like he belongs.
When you and Kobe talked 2 weeks ago at this point, you talked about Jalen and how excited you were to see him back on the floor after the summer that he had in his rookie year. Just what have you liked about him?
He he's taken a step physically, he's always in great shape, but he looks stronger, finishing better at the rim. I think you remember last year sometimes he had some problems finishing at the rim. And he just told me, he said his shot feels as good um, as it's ever been. We track our shooting and kind of open gym. He was like fourth best for whatever that's worth. I know it's practice, but with all the great shooters we have, like to be fourth in the ranking. So, and doing all the things role players should do, cutting, offense, he's an excellent rebounder. So doing that too, running the court. He's been trying to tell him like, you know, because he likes to handle the ball. He handles a lot at Cal in summer league. It's like Jalen, like you're going to be playing with a lot of good players. You're going to do all this other stuff. That ball handling stuff will be down the road.
How frequently this year do you envision playing with two bigs that aren't necessarily Evan and Jared together?
I know that's a good question. We really got to see how that plays out because with Larry and TB, we have two they're rotation guys, like talent wise. So it's a great luxury. The good news is, I don't know if this is out there yet, but JA's, not set on playing 82 games. He's not, gonna do, I had a talk with him and he's he's open to, so I think we'll figure out, how to best integrate those guys. But I'll tell you what, it's a heck of a insurance to have, having two rotation bigs like that.
And then last year, for the most part, compared Donovan and Evan together, Darius and Jared together. Do you envision that being the case again this year? How
We
does
got to,
Darius maybe
yeah,
compare like that?
we're evaluating it right now, looking at rotations and practice um have not decided. I do think um having Darius and Max out could shift that a little. I think we got to think about until those guys get back, we might have to, make some tweaks to what we did with Don and Evan and JA. Yeah.
Coach, as you go into year two here with this team, obviously last season you guys finished with the number one seed, but didn't finish where you wanted to going out in the second round of the playoffs. When it comes to this group, especially with the additions of the veteran players that you added, what does success and progress look for you on a day-to-day basis as you prepare for this grind of 82?
Yeah, I mean, we are extremely process oriented, right? Like I think we kind of figure we keep, taking the daily steps, daily improvement, accumulated habits, all that stuff. And you know, it's kind of we have the score takes care of itself if we're kind of checking all the boxes and taking care of our business on what does Evan say, stacking days they call it, and just incremental growth. And we're obviously added some new guys and are tweaking some things, but we're going to stick with what got us a lot of success last year.
As you prepare for this season, do you feel that with these additions that you have more depth in your backcourt and your front court as you prepare for this season?
Good question, because we were deep last year, and it's hard to play more than 10. So I definitely think at the at the big spot, we're definitely deeper. Obviously we have two perimeters out right now, and Darius and Max. So that's gonna, kind of encourage us to play our young guys, Jalen and CP, and we got to see how those guys do, right? They're doing really good in training camp. We got to see how they fare when the ball's tipped up.
Spencer.
Hey, Coach.
What's up, Spencer?
So what's up? Got back home.
Yeah.
But with Jalen, just with hearing you talking about him, about throwing somebody kind of into the fire a little bit early on in the season, how do you usually see that working out for guys that maybe aren't as experienced? I know he got a decent amount last year, but not the full thing.
Yeah. Now this is going to be different. This hopefully, blossoms into a steady role for him. But listen, he's got to, right. He's going to have to, you got to prove it. And the only way we can evaluate is that through regular season games. So, if he has, we're not going to take 3 games and evaluate it, but, after sample size, you start getting 10, 15 games, and then we can start looking at it. But he's understanding, I think, better what we're looking for from him. And like I said, I think his body's better. And he's in phenomenal shape, and he plays so hard. My feeling is like he's going to make a jump, right? He's going to be more comfortable out there. He's doing all the role player things that we're asking. And he's making, really worked on his shot, so shooting the ball really well. So I'd be surprised if he doesn't, kind of cement himself in the rotation. I really would.
And then just one more thing, talking to Naquan on Media Day, said that you've been working on him with his hips. Can you kind of go into detail about what that is?
So that's part of our player development plan, right? It's, we obviously have an on-court piece, and then we have a performance piece. So everybody's got their thing they have to work on. And his number one thing is hip strength. So me and him have this, kind of joke. I'm like, you work on your hips today, or did you get stronger? But that's kind of his, his development piece is he's got to get stronger. And good news is we track it and we measure it, and he is, the numbers have been really positive since we started testing. So he played another guy who played well today. He's we're gonna have some decisions with these young guys. I think there's a group of them that are gonna battle it out. I think Jalen's got a little more probably experience and but we're gonna have some interesting decisions to make with those young guys and see who breaks into the rotation.
Thanks.
James.
Hey, Coach, just the overall assessment of camp so far, guys competing and grinding it out and gelling together. What are you seeing so far?
Yeah, vibes are great. You have a feeling as a coach, when things are moving in the right direction, and maybe every coach says that, but I'm just being being transparent. That's what it feels like. Chemistry's good. Evan just told me, he said, man, today was great. He goes, man, he goes, everybody's locked in. And, he said coaches are locked in, players are locked in. And there's a seriousness to what we're doing. And then at night we have some fun, right? We do film and then we do a little, outside of the box stuff so the guys get a good laugh and we build that team camaraderie.
Coach, can you talk about the players going from playing shape into game shape as every day they get closer and closer to ramping up and playing against the Bulls?
We have a real plan in place, right? We have our sports science guys that basically we follow their recommendations on what we need to do to get prepared. One thing is we don't want to peak the first game of the first exhibition game, right? That's not the goal. The goal is to peak is to be ready for game one of the regular season. So I don't think you'll see us I don't think you'll see guys playing big minutes against the Bulls. They're going to play, but probably not big minutes. But we have a plan. We do it for practice, preseason games, and then the ramp up for the regular season.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Ethan.
Kenny, at your preseason press conference, you talked a little bit about the opportunity to see what Lonzo could impact when it comes to this team. Now being at training camp and getting the opportunity to see him and the chemistry grow, what have you learned about Lonzo and how he can impact this team?
Yeah, he hasn't disappointed. It's kind of everything that's we thought we were getting, we're getting. The IQ it stands out. That's the big thing that stands out. And it's a subtle thing. He was setting some inverted screens for Evan today, and just the angle of the screen, he knew when to flip the screen. He's just got a great feel. And then defensively, he's in spaces early. He gets steals just out of nowhere. Kind of what he's done his whole career. So this is, I'm excited to coach any NBA player, but this is a guy I've watched for a long time. I think he is he's kind of the ultimate system fit. And he hasn't disappointed so far in camp.
You also mentioned just the importance of the sports science guys that you guys have when it comes to the health and the stability of your players. Apparently, you guys went to the Gatorade Sports Science Institute today. Can you talk about the importance of that and how that can help all overarching players?
Yeah, I mean, we're all in a battle in this league to keep our players as healthy as possible, and not only the health piece, but keeping. We want high performing athletes, right? So I know Steve, took 3 or 4 guys over, and they did body scans and DEXA and all the stuff they do. But they're really, our sports science people are really part of our coaching staff. They're in all our meetings. They're on the sidelines guiding me and guiding the assistant coaches. If we start going over on our target load for the day, they're on us, they're a huge help. And then I think we're always looking for an edge, right? If there's new technology, anything that can help our players in the performance space, these guys are on it. They're constantly looking at apparatuses that can help us, strategies that can help our guys perform better, be in better condition. The mental performance part is also a piece of it. I think, the public domain, this is just basketball. It's so much more. There's so much more if you have a holistic approach to improving a player and a team.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, Chris.
A couple things. How's it going?
Good.
In what way do you think confrontation can be beneficial for a team?
Oh, in what way can confrontation? Well, it's like anything. Sometimes you iron things out when you confront, and when you have conflict. And I don't think in our environment we look at as a negative. Like um, of course we never want to get personal or demeaning or that, but healthy conflict is is good. Not, I promote it. I think that's part of challenging, um, challenging players, challenging the coaching staff. Sometimes I'll just take the contrarian view in a meeting or something, just to get, stir the pot. I think that's how you come out with, the best decisions.
And then going back to yesterday, what
Yeah.
went into, going outside to the fields and having that kind of.
Man, listen, like, we did have the track part planned, but the baseball part, that was Donovan, just ad-libbing. We're supposed to come over here and install some stuff, and these are the decisions you make as a coach when your star player comes to say, "Hey, we want to play baseball." I said, "Okay, we can play baseball. But we're gonna have to, if we're not gonna come over to the gym now, we're gonna have to practice longer tomorrow."
Yeah.
And it was amazing. Like we got more out of the baseball than what we ever would have gotten over coming over here and install them.
And
Everybody, yeah, I don't know. Everybody got cut. Like the camaraderie. We had the staff out there in the field, and we got people, field and fly balls, and JA's getting up there, and you don't think you're getting hit. All of a sudden, he's just drilling balls like everywhere. Sam Merrill looks like a major league baseball player. Donovan looks like a major league player. It's just fun. We just have a lot of laughs. But they're also out there in the sun. They're getting some reps at this beautiful, the beautiful baseball facility here. We had a blast. Great team building thing, and it was great suggestion by Don. That was not my idea.
And did you sense the team being like more refreshed because of that?
Yeah. I don't. After the track to come here and what, I'm not sure we would have gotten a lot done, or I don't know how much we would have retained. But I think 8 years ago as a coach, I probably would have came over here, and said, "Hey, we got to do our stuff. We got to." But yesterday was a culture building too, and team building experience, and that is vital, and you got to take advantages of opportunities like that in training camp.